Hello, everyone. Welcome to what is almost certainly going to be the final episode of Speak With Straag. And this particular episode has been something I've been thinking about for a while. Specifically, the topic, and the topic is loss. So, as you can see, I don't have any people here. No studio audience, no camera, just you and me. And when I first wrote the idea for the show, it was going to be talking about, the loss of, first love. It was going to be the loss of someone close to me. Because at the time I had been thinking about it, my girlfriend in the city she had family stuff come up. And it kept her away. And it got so intense that she knew she wouldn't be able to come back to see me. And if she were to ever come back, I would smile. I'd welcome her in with open arms, and I'd ask her how it went. But time happens, and things change. As many of you know, I'd also been running for mayor of Los Santos. It's one of those things that I thought a lot about. And how I really wanted to be there to help the people of the city. And after spending months crafting a platform, talking to people, getting my name out there, I lost. And, losing the election, that's fine. That's politics. That's how it happens. That's no big deal. But it still hurts when you put so much effort into something, into an idea, and get absolutely demolished. Like, the person who got first place is a dear friend of mine. Kaz was the first person in the city I gave therapy to. Like, Kaz and I go as far back as I go in this city. Day one, literally the second person I met, and I just lucked into that kind of a, beautiful scenario. And when he told me he was running for mayor, I was both thrilled and terrified. Because he had this heart of gold. And while we may not agree on everything, I knew that he wasn't going to do anything to, hurt the people around him or the people he cares about. And that's really important. After losing the election badly, I should say, full disclosure, when Weasel gave out the results of the election, it said that Kaz had won 68% of the vote. 68% of the vote. That is more than if the other four candidates, myself included, combined all together and then doubled, he would still have beaten us. it just spoke to the kind of person he is and the kind of sway he carries. And after that loss of election, man, I lost a sense of direction. Like, I'd spent so long focused on what do I what do I do now? I mean, yeah, I could continue to be a therapist, sure. There's nothing that stopped that. It's what my training is in. It's what I'm good at. There's this TV set here that has lied vacant for the past 2 months as I oscillated between running for mayor and losing my passion for a lot. It was hard. I mean, I even took up part-time real estate sales, to not that I necessarily need the money because I have my house and I have my office, but I just needed something. And the people that I care about aren't around as much anymore. And that's okay. People come and go. You have old friends, you make new friends, and you move on. But what I didn't expect was waking up this morning to find that the mayor of Los Santos had been killed. He's dead. And when I first heard about it, I was terrified. I'm like, what are you talking about? Fuck that. That's idiotic. There's no way that happened. That's bullshit. I disagree. I disagree vehemently. No way. Kaz wouldn't go out like that. Cause of death was asphyxiation. But there weren't any like struggle wounds or anything like that. So this wasn't someone like wrapping a wire around his throat and choking him out. This was more insidious. Something he didn't struggle through. It just sort of stopped him from breathing, and then he died. And as I said earlier, he was my friend. I'm not gonna sit here and spit bullshit at you and say he was my best friend, but he was certainly someone I valued greatly. And even after losing to him in the election, even after losing to him and Kiter, I wanted him to succeed. I wanted more than anything. I wanted more than anything for him to help propel this city into what we all know it is and can be. It's why I was running for mayor. It's why he was running for mayor. It's why Kiter was running for mayor. I won't speak to the other two. I don't know their motivations nearly as well. But Kaz and Kiter, I understand them. I get them. And I know what they wanted to do. And I know they wanted to help. And finding out that Kaz is gone, it hurt. Now, before you guys start coming to me and saying, Straag, how do you know this? Weasel hasn't even reported on it. Well, Speak With Straag is actually held in the Weasel News studios, right? And I talked to the people here. I used to work at Pillbox, so I know people in both the morgue and EMS. I am a therapist, so I know people in both the criminal and law enforcement sides. I have contacts. I have unfortunately verified. I've seen the coroner's report. And I hate it. I hate it because it means someone that I cared about, someone that I still care about, his friends and his family, and the overwhelming amount of people who supported him don't have him anymore. The city doesn't have him anymore. He was something great. And maybe someday I'll be half the man he was. Even though he was younger than me. And way more fit. In either case, that brings me to why I'm here in this empty room. This is the last episode of Speak With Straag, everybody. I lost the passion to do this show after I lost that election. And I probably could have gone another day, week, 2 weeks, month, 6 months not recording an episode and just suckling off a weasel's teat and just getting a paycheck. But when I found out Kaz was gone, I found out he was really gone. I know that I would be doing him a disservice by not coming out and telling him goodbye in the most lavish and idiotic way I can think of. I looked over that coroner's report, and it didn't look like he suffered on his way out. So, without knowing that the coroner's report is always going to be lacking in specificity, I'm just going to say the official cause of death was being smothered to death by a pair of fantastic tits or a hot as fuck ass. I want to imagine that Kaz went out the way he lived. You know, my first co-host, Lola, who used to sit right here while I did these shows in the first season. I think if she were here, we'd be swapping stories about Kaz right now. If my former girlfriend Tiffany were here, she'd be sitting right here and laughing at all the bad jokes. Life moves on. We grow up. We grow old. Old friends disappear. New ones come into their stead. And I know at the end of this, we're all going to keep on living. But this show will not. I want to thank you for coming out and watching these shows I've done for you. With you. Most times with you. I want to thank Weasel News for giving me the opportunity to be the therapist talk show host that the city could use. And I want to thank you. You who may still be here listening to this. It means the world to me. And even on those days when you don't think that you can make it, or you don't think you're good enough, or you don't think you're strong enough, I want you to know that I'm out here cheering you on. I may not be physically there. I may not be holding your hand or holding your hair out of your head or out of the splash zone of puking. But I'm cheering you on. Because I believe in you. Alright? So, stay safe out there, guys. And, for the final time, this has been Speak With Straag. Have a... Just stay safe out there. Alright? Good night.